Starbucks spicing up the fall. The drink and cups the company hopes will help them cash in on the season on this, the first day of fall. Secrets of success. First, though, from the founder of the world's largest hedge fund. Joining us right now is the founder of Bridgewater Associates and the author of the new book, Principles, Life and Work. Ray Dalio is here. And Ray, it's good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations. Your company manages $160 billion for approximately 350 institutional clients. You're the largest hedge fund. You've had tremendous success, and you've been talking about what's behind that management style and that approach recently on this book tour. Tell us more about it.
Well, in order to be successful, we have to have independent thinkers who are willing to bet against the consensus, because the consensus is built into the price. So how do you have an idea meritocracy in which you might be wrong? You know, when you're betting against the consensus, it's easy to be wrong. So that process of having that thoughtful disagreement and having a community that is willing to have that thoughtful disagreement to make that idea meritocracy is key. There are three things you need to do in order to do this. First, everybody has to put their honest thoughts on the table so everybody understands. Second, you have to know the art of thoughtful disagreement, how to go back and forth and listen to each other and improve. And third, you have to have ways of getting past those disagreements. So we have a community in which the goal is to have an idea meritocracy, in which we're seeking meaningful work and meaningful relationships by being radically truthful and radically transparent for ourselves. An idea meritocracy will give you the best ideas, and that's what works. So it's no one person, it's that process.
So you're using these programs called, whether it's the dot collector, where employees can post their views of a colleague's performance and see other people's ratings as well. How tough was that to get the team around that idea that it's going to be right there in front of everybody to see?
Well, you know, it started out like, how am I going to be with you, each other? Am I going to be straightforward? Are we going to be able to talk about that? So when you build a culture that's based on that straightforwardness, not office politics, all of that, then you go from there. The tools have been fantastic because you can, it's shown in a TED Talk if you're interested.
Yeah,
in
I've seen it.
TED Talk. You could see the tools, and you could see in any meeting that everybody has different points of view, which then raises the question of, how do I know I'm right? Am I one of those who might be wrong or might be right? And then we go above that to say, how do we find out who has the best ideas? And then we convert those into principles and then into algorithms. The idea of writing down principles and then converting those into algorithms that make decisions in parallel, so that we have computers that make decisions in parallel, has been the secret sauce.
Yeah, and you've gotten great comments from colleagues in the business. I'm just almost finished, actually, with the book, but here's what Bill Gates said. Ray Dalio has provided me with invaluable guidance and insights that are now available to you in Principles. Tony Robbins, I found it to be truly extraordinary. Every page is full of so many principles of distinction and insights. I love how Ray incorporates his history and his life in such an elegant way. How do these computer apps help in terms of putting money to work, in terms of investing?
Well, in investing or in any decision making, you have to understand that you can convert whatever is in your head in terms of those criteria into these algorithms, and then the computer can process far more information than your brain has the capacity to do it. It can process it a lot quicker, and it can process it a lot less emotionally. So that's like having a computer chess game next to you. So you're playing an opponent. You have this computer chess game playing, and then you're playing mentally. And when you have that next to you, it's extremely powerful.
Is that why we're seeing more artificial intelligence being used today in financial services in general? I mean, you're seeing AI be implemented, you know, in a number of different ways. Is that why? Because they're trying to...
Of course, and it's true for everything. I mean, by and large, the world is going to largely consist of people who can take language and put it into code, which then allows the computer to operate like a brain, or people who are going to be displaced by that. In other words, those algorithms and that process allows people to get the best thinking, not just the thinking that happens to be in people's minds. And it makes for an idea meritocracy. So it's certainly an issue in finance, but it's an issue of our time. Something like 40% of all jobs are going to be replaced over the next 20 years by these algorithms in various forms.
How are we supposed to deal with that? I remember it's got to be 20 years ago, Bill Joy wrote an article for Wired magazine, and he predicted this. He said robots are going to be taking over our jobs, particularly in financial services. What are people to do to look at a situation knowing that there's going to be 40% fewer jobs? What skills should we be trying to learn?
I mean, the first thing is, like, everybody's got to learn to code. It's like not knowing how to read and write in the new age.
You think? Wow.
That's right. So because it gives the power to do that. And if people are educated broadly, there's so much need for it. I mean, think about it. These ideas of writing the principles and converting them to code is so invaluable. So if you were to take all of your decision making and you were to have somebody who is next to you who knows how to code and then has the responsibility of converting those decision making criteria into code and then building that, the world could be building and leveraging itself in a tremendous way. So I think that coding, education and coding, is very fundamental.
Really?
And I think it's empowering. It could give many more people jobs. It can make that coding so much better. I think it's fundamental.
And it's also becoming more widespread. You're seeing opportunities to learn how to code in a lot of areas right now. So more and more people are doing it.